He always wore just a towel. Then he invited me in like he knew my secret. The steam still clung to the air like a lover's breath when I first saw him. That hallway in our Brooklyn walk-up, narrow as a confessional, smelled of fresh rain seeping through the cracked window panes and the faint, acrid bite of city exhaust drifting up from the street below. It was one of those early autumn mornings, the kind where the sun fights through gray clouds just to remind you it's still alive, casting long shadows that danced like ghosts across the peeling wallpaper. I was fumbling with my keys, my heart pounding from the nightmare that had jolted me awake, the one where my father's voice echoed, "You're not my son anymore," sharp as shattered glass. I'd moved here 3 months ago, chasing the illusion of reinvention after coming out to my family back in Ohio. Or trying to anyway. The words had stuck in my throat like dry toast, and all I got was silence, then the slam of a door. Alex Harper, 28, graphic designer by day, invisible man by night. My portfolio was full of bold colors and sleek lines, but my life? A grayscale sketch, smudged and unfinished. That's when the door across from mine creaked open. Not a full swing, just enough to let out a puff of warm, soapy air that hit me like a wave from some forgotten beach. And there he was, Jordan. He didn't say a word at first, just stood there, towel slung low around his hips, water droplets tracing lazy paths down his chest, catching the light like tiny prisms. Mid-30s, I guessed, with that easy confidence of a man who'd claimed his space in the world. Broad shoulders, a faint scar snaking across his ribs like a secret tattoo, and eyes the color of storm-tossed ocean, locking onto mine with an intensity that made my pulse stutter. "Morning," he said, voice low and gravelly, like he'd just woken from a dream he didn't want to leave. His smile was crooked, inviting, as if we'd shared coffee 100 times before. He leaned against the doorframe, the towel shifting just enough to make my throat go dry. No shirt, no pretense. Just skin and steam and that unspoken pull that hung between us thicker than the humidity. I mumbled something about the weather, my cheeks burning as I jammed the key into my lock. Click, escape. But as I slipped inside my apartment, the door barely shut before I heard his soft chuckle, fading like an echo. That night, I lay awake, the city's hum a distant lullaby, replaying the image of him. The way the towel clung, precariously. The way his gaze lingered, not judging, but knowing. Like he saw the fracture lines in me, the ones I hid behind freelance deadlines and late-night sketches. Days blurred into weeks. I'd catch glimpses. Him heading out for runs at dawn, towel fresh from the shower when he returned. Always that casual exposure that felt anything but. Our building was old, walls thin as whispers, so I'd hear the rhythm of his life bleeding through. The splash of water in the tub, the low hum of jazz records spinning on a vintage player, the occasional sigh that sounded like surrender. Once, late at night, a muffled laugh on a phone call, warm and unguarded, followed by silence that stretched like longing. I told myself it was nothing, just neighborly curiosity. But curiosity doesn't make your hands shake when you pass in the hall, doesn't turn every shower into a ritual of imagined touches. Jordan was American through and through, born in Chicago if the Bears mug I spotted on his doorstep was any clue. Now an architect reshaping skylines in Manhattan. I'd overheard him on a call once, voice steady as he debated blueprints with a client, passion threading through like sunlight. Me? Still sketching logos for startups that promised the world but delivered dust. The hook came on a Thursday, rain lashing the windows like accusations. I'd botched a client pitch that afternoon. The feedback email a gut punch. Too safe, Alex. Push the edges. Safe. That's what I was. Hiding in plain sight, dating women in college to keep the peace, now single and starving for something real. I slammed my door, the echo bouncing back mockingly, and there he was again. Towel as always, but this time his hair was slicked back, eyes shadowed with something heavier than fatigue. Rough day. He didn't move, just watched me, arms crossed loosely, muscles flexing under damp skin. I nodded, words failing. The air between us crackled, charged with the scent of his cedarwood soap mingling with my own stale coffee breath. He tilted his head, that smile softening into something almost tender. "Come in. I've got whiskey that bites back." My heart slammed against my ribs. This was the line, the one I'd towed for weeks. Say no, retreat to my sketches and solitude. Or step forward into the unknown. I stepped forward. His apartment enveloped me like a sigh. Warm lamplight spilled over exposed brick walls. Blueprints pinned haphazardly like abstract art. A half-built model of a soaring bridge on the coffee table. Jazz crooned from hidden speakers, smoky and slow. Miles Davis weaving melancholy into the air. He poured 2 glasses, amber liquid glinting, and handed me one. Our fingers brushed. Electricity. No accident. We sank onto his couch, the leather cool against my jeans, and talked. Not small talk. Real. He shared stories of Chicago winters that froze your soul. The first building he designed that made a skyline weep with beauty. I confessed the Ohio funeral I'd skipped last month. My mother's voicemail a plea wrapped in pity. "They don't get it?" I whispered, the whiskey burning a path to truth. "The hiding. The wanting." Jordan's gaze held mine, unblinking. "Hiding's a cage, Alex. But wanting, that's the key." His hand found my knee, light as a question. I didn't pull away. The room narrowed to the space between us, the rain a steady drum against the pane. When he leaned in, lips brushing mine tentative at first, then hungry, it was like exhaling after holding my breath for years. His towel slipped forgotten to the floor, but it wasn't about that. It was the way he whispered my name like a prayer, the salt of his skin under my palms, the gasp that escaped him when I traced that scar. We moved to his bed, sheets tangled like our secrets, bodies speaking what words couldn't. Dawn crept in, painting us in hues of pink and gold, but as I lay there, his arm heavy across my chest, doubt slithered back. What now? This man, so sure of himself, unraveling me with a touch, and me still fractured, still afraid. Little did I know, his invitation wasn't just for the night. It was the door to everything we'd both been running from. The morning after tasted like regret wrapped in bliss. I woke to the aroma of brewing coffee, strong and black, cutting through the haze of sleep and satisfaction. Jordan was already up, humming that jazz tune from last night. His back to me as he stood at the kitchenette counter in nothing but boxers now, towel long discarded. The sight of him, casual in the daylight, muscles shifting with easy grace, sent a fresh wave of heat through me. But beneath it, the old fear gnawed. What if this was just a momentary lapse for him? A neighborly fling to chase away the rain? He turned, catching my stare, and grinned that crooked smile. "Sleep okay?" "Better than okay." My voice came out rough, honest. I sat up, sheets pooling around my waist, suddenly hyper-aware of my own vulnerability. No hiding here, not in his bed. He brought over 2 mugs, handing me one with a wink. "Figured you'd need this. Black, no sugar." I pay attention. The casual observation hit harder than it should. No one had ever noticed that about me, not even exes who'd shared my space for months. We sipped in companionable silence, the rain tapering to a drizzle outside, birds chirping tentative in the budding light. Then he sat beside me, thigh pressing warm against mine, and the questions bubbled up. "So, this." I gestured vaguely between us, the mug warm in my hands. "Us. What is it?" Jordan set his down, turning to face me fully. His eyes, those storm-blue depths, softened with something raw. "It's whatever we want it to be, Alex. No labels yet. Just real. Real." The word echoed, chasing away shadows. We talked then, deeper than the night before. He opened up about his own coming out, a messy affair at 22, disowned by a father who was more ghost than parent. Built my first model after that, he said, voice steady but laced with old ache. Something solid, when everything else crumbled. I shared the nightmares, the freelance gigs that paid bills but starved the soul. The way Ohio's flat fields still haunted my dreams like a cage I couldn't outrun. His hand found mine, fingers interlacing, and for the first time, the touch felt like anchor, not spark. By noon, we were dressed and wandering the farmer's market down the block, the air crisp with fallen leaves crunching underfoot and the sizzle of street vendors frying plantains. He bought me a caramel apple, laughing when the sticky bite smeared my chin, wiping it away with his thumb in a gesture so intimate it stole my breath. People brushed past, New Yorkers in their hurried bubble, but in that moment, it was just us. Two men, hands occasionally brushing, eyes meeting with promises unspoken. That evening, back in his space, we cooked. Pasta, simple, with garlic that perfumed the air and wine that loosened tongues. He danced me around the kitchen to an old Sinatra record, my laughter surprising even me, light and free. But as the night deepened, bodies entwining again on the couch, a shadow crossed his face. A phone buzzed, insistent, and he silenced it with a curse. "Work?" I asked, tracing the line of his jaw. Something like that. His kiss was fierce then, distracting, but I felt the tension coil in him like a spring. The conflict simmered beneath the surface, unspoken. Mine was the fear of loss, the echo of rejection. His, I sensed it in the way he held me too tight, the sighs that came unbidden in the quiet hours. Secrets, plural. Mine and now his. Weeks turned the fling into rhythm. Mornings, I'd wake to his towel-clad form in the hall, a ritual that now ended with a stolen kiss, quick and heated before work pulled us apart. My designs grew bolder, edges pushed, clients noticing the fire I'd been banking. Jordan's blueprints sprawled across my table during late nights, our collaboration seamless, ideas flowing like the wine we shared. But cracks appeared. A voicemail from Mom, voice trembling. "Alex, your father's sick. Come home." The words landed like a slap, reopening wounds. I deleted it, but the guilt festered. Jordan noticed, of course. Over takeout one night, rain pattering again, he pressed. "Family?" I nodded, throat tight. "The kind that pretends you don't exist." He pulled me close, breath warm against my temple. "They don't define you. This does." His hand over my heart, steady. Yet his own shadows lengthened. I'd catch him staring at old photos on his phone. A younger man with laughing eyes, arms slung around Jordan's shoulders. The question died on my lips, but curiosity gnawed. Then came the night that shattered the fragile peace. We'd planned a quiet evening, candles flickering against brick, but his door was ajar when I arrived, voices murmuring inside. Low heated. I froze, heart hammering, the hallway suddenly cold. Pushing in, I found him with a man. Not intimate, thank God, but tense. Tall, sharp-suited, face like carved granite. "You owe me, Jordan," the intruder hissed, voice slicing the air. "That bridge deal? It falls through, you're done." Jordan's jaw clenched, towel forgotten in the chaos of the moment. He'd just showered, expecting me. "Get out, Marcus. It's over." The man laughed, bitter. "Over? You think burying it changes anything? The affair, the payoffs. It's all coming out. Affair. Payoffs." The words ricocheted, stealing my breath. Marcus's gaze flicked to me, dismissing. "New toy? Careful, kid. He breaks things." He stormed out, door slamming like thunder. Jordan turned, face ashen, eyes pleading. "Alex, wait." But I was already backing away, the steam from his shower now choking, the jazz record skipping like a skipped heartbeat. Secrets. His invitation had cracked open a door, but behind it lurked a storm I wasn't ready for. I fled to my apartment, door bolted, chest heaving with sobs I couldn't stifle. The hallway echoed empty, the rain mocking my isolation. He'd known my secret, all right, but it was a grenade, pin pulled, and I was in the blast radius. Dawn broke like a bruise, purple and swollen over the East River, but sleep had evaded me. Tossed in sheets that smelled of him now, cedarwood lingering like a ghost. The confrontation replayed in loops. Marcus's sneer, Jordan's desperation. The word affair hanging heavy as fog. I'd paced till my feet ached, phone clutched like a lifeline, thumb hovering over Mom's number before slamming it down. No, not yet. This mess was mine to unravel. Coffee brewed bitter on my tongue, mirroring the churn in my gut. Work called. A deadline for a startup logo. All sleek vectors and false promises. But my sketches bled chaos, lines jagged as accusations. By noon, I was staring at the wall, the thin barrier between our lives mocking me. What had I stumbled into? A man who saw through my armor, only to arm himself with lies. A knock shattered the silence. Soft, hesitant. I knew before I opened it. Jordan stood there, fully dressed for once. Jeans faded soft, Henley hugging his frame, hair tousled like he'd raked fingers through it 100 times. No towel, no games, just eyes red-rimmed, pleading. Can we talk? I wanted to slam the door, to erase the taste of him from my memory. But the pull was magnetic, damn it. 5 minutes. Inside my place, he paced the cramped space, glancing at my sketches scattered like confetti from a broken party. Alex, it's not what you think. Then what is it? My voice cracked, sharper than intended. The air hummed with tension, the distant wail of a siren underscoring the drama. He stopped, exhaling slow, like deflating a balloon of held breath. Marcus was my partner, business and more. 2 years ago, we designed that bridge together, the one spanning the Hudson, all glass and steel, a marvel. But he cut corners, bribes to inspectors, skimmed funds. When I found out, I walked, reported it anonymously. The project's hanging by threads now, and he's lashing out. Partner. The word twisted like a knife. You loved him. Jordan's gaze dropped, shoulders slumping. Once. But it was toxic, Alex. Lies on lies. That's why I ended it. Why I moved here, started fresh. He stepped closer, heat radiating, but I held up a hand. And the payoffs? He said.
Fabrication.
His voice hardened, but pain flickered beneath. He thinks threatening me will drag me back, but I swear that's the past. You're the now. Now. The word dangled, tempting. I searched his face, those blue eyes steady, vulnerable in a way that mirrored my own fractures. The room felt smaller, the scent of my cooling coffee mixing with his faint cologne, grounding. A sigh escaped me, unbidden, the fight draining like receding tide. I believe you, I whispered, the admission heavy. But trust is fragile for me, after everything. He nodded, closing the gap, forehead resting against mine. I know. Let me earn it. We stood like that, breaths sinking, the world outside fading to a hum. When his lips found mine, it was gentle, apologetic, a seal on fragile peace. No rush to the bedroom this time, just holding, bodies aligning like puzzle pieces testing fit. Afternoon bled into collaboration. He spread blueprints on my table, explaining the bridge's arcs with passion that lit his features, hands gesturing fluid as river. I sketched integrations, digital flourishes to make the structure breathe. Laughter crept in, tentative, over a shared pizza, cheese stretching like strings of forgiveness. By evening, the storm had passed, replaced by a tentative glow. But shadows lingered. That night, tangled in my sheets. My place, my rules. He traced my spine with fingertips, voice muffled against my neck. Tell me about Ohio. I tensed, the old wound throbbing. Flat, safe, suffocating. Words spilled then, the coming out that wasn't, the father's rage that drove me east. His arms tightened, a murmur of I'm sorry vibrating through me like balm. In turn, he shared Chicago ghosts. A mother lost to cancer young. The architecture firm that birthed his dreams but devoured his youth. Built walls to survive, he said, irony thick. Now I design bridges. We made love slow, exploratory, each touch a question answered. Dawn found us entwined, his heartbeat a steady drum under my palm. For the first time, hope flickered, fragile as first light. The rhythm rebuilt, stronger. Mornings in the hall became rituals of coffee shared on stoops. Towels traded for robes as winter nipped. We'd run together along the promenade, breaths puffing white, his hand brushing mine in crowded paths, a silent claim. My designs won praise, edges honed by his influence. Push, Alex. Like you push me. Family intruded via email. Dad's cancer? Stage 3. A plea veiled as demand. Come home, son. Make peace. Son. The word mocked, but guilt gnawed deeper. I showed Jordan, his jaw tightening as he read. Go, he urged. Over dinner one snowy night, flakes swirling outside like confetti regrets. Not for them, for you. Fear clawed. What if it's the end? What if I can't face it? He cupped my face, thumbs stroking whiskers. You're stronger than their shadows. And I'll be here, towel or no. That crooked grin, melting ice. I booked the flight, heart leaden. The goodbye at the gate was a kiss stolen in shadows. His whisper, come back to me, echoing through turbulence. Ohio was gray, fields barren under sleet. Mom's hug was brittle, Dad's bed a battlefield of tubes and monitors. Alex, he rasped, eyes hollow. Knew you were different. Thought it'd break us. Tears stung. It did. But I'm still here. Conversations fractured, mended in fits. Mercy, not absolution. He passed quietly, hand in mine. The sigh of release, a final bridge crossed. Funeral rain soaked black suits. Whispers of such a shame like barbs. I fled east, hollowed but unbowed. Jordan waited at arrivals, arms open, no words needed. That night, in his bed, sobs racked me, his body shield and solace. I love you, he murmured into my hair, first time spoken, echoed back, truth tasting like home. Spring bloomed, our lives intertwining like vines. Joint projects, his firm hiring my designs for exhibits. Evenings on his balcony, city lights winking approval, jazz low as we swayed. But Marcus returned, a serpent uncoiling, envelope under my door. Photos, grainy, of Jordan and him, entangled. Note, tell him to back off or everyone sees. Rage boiled, but I burned them, confronting Jordan over whiskey that night. He's poison. We fight together. His relief was palpable, kiss fierce. Partners, all the way. The climax brewed in boardrooms, Marcus's threats escalating to sabotage. Jordan's pitch for the bridge faltered, whispers of scandal. We dug, uncovering ledgers, calling in favors from Chicago contacts. One stormy night, confrontation in a dimly lit bar, thunder rumbling like applause. Marcus sneered. You think you can bury this? Jordan stood tall, voice steel. It's buried because it's wrong. And I'm done hiding. Fists flew, brief and brutal, my intervention pulling them apart. Cops called, statements given, the truth spilling like blood. Aftermath. Charges, hearings, the bridge salvaged with Jordan at helm. Integrity his cornerstone. Marcus vanished, a footnote. In the quiet that followed, summer heat thick, we stood on the completed span. Wind whipping, city sprawling below. We built this, he said, hand in mine. I squeezed, heart full. More than steel. Love earned through fire unbreakable. Summer haze settled over Brooklyn like a fever dream, the air thick with the sizzle of rooftop barbecues and the distant thrum of subway trains rumbling beneath our feet. The bridge opening had been a whirlwind, flashbulbs popping like fireworks, Jordan's speech eloquent and unflinching, crediting the man who reminded me what standing tall means. Me, in the crowd, cheeks flushed under the spotlight's graze, our fingers laced hidden from prying eyes. The scandal's dust settled, Marcus's empire crumbling under audits and indictments, but victory tasted bittersweet, laced with the scars it left. We dove into normalcy, or what passed for it in our tangled world. Mornings now started in his kitchen, my toothbrush claiming space beside his. The towel ritual evolved to shared showers, steam veiling laughter and sighs. I'd sketch at his drafting table while he hummed blueprints to life, our worlds overlapping seamless as breath. "You're my edge," he'd murmur, nuzzling my neck, pencil pausing midline. But normalcy was illusion. My father's death lingered, a hollow in my chest that echoed in quiet moments. Dreams of Ohio fields turned to graveyards, Dad's rasp morphing to Jordan's whisper. I'd wake sweating, his arm tightening instinctively. "Here," he'd say, voice anchor in the dark. Always. One August evening, heat lightning flickering over the harbor, we hosted friends, his circle of architects and artists, my tentative invites from freelance gigs. Laughter filled his apartment, wine flowing red as confessions. A colleague, Sam, clapped Jordan's shoulder. "Heard about the drama. Hero shit, man." I slid to me, curious. "And who's this?" "Alex," Jordan said, arm casual around my waist, the touch electric public. "My partner, in every sense." The word landed soft, but it rippled. Nods, smiles, a few raised glasses. No drama, no stares. Just acceptance, warm as the breeze through open windows. Later, alone on the fire escape, stars pricking the smog, I leaned into him. That felt real. It is. His kiss salty with sweat, hands roaming familiar paths. We made love under the open sky. City Symphony our soundtrack, vulnerability stripped bare. Fall crept in, leaves carpeting sidewalks in crimson regret. My portfolio ballooned, commissions pouring from Jordan's referrals, but success bred pressure. A big client, a tech giant eyeing my designs for their rebrand, demanded meetings in Silicon Valley. 2 weeks, I told him over breakfast, bagels toasting golden. His fork paused, eyes darkening. 2 weeks without this? He tugged me onto his lap, towel slipping playful. I laughed, but worry gnawed. Distance, after all we'd bridged. Video calls. And I'll miss you like hell. The airport goodbye was a clinch in shadows. His hurry back, muffled against my collar. California was sun-drenched alienation. Palm trees mocking my isolation. Calls came nightly, his face pixelated but voice steady, sharing mundane miracles. A client's wild idea. A jazz fest ticket saved for us. Midway, Mom called, voice tentative over static. "Alex, your father's will. He left you the house. Said you were always the builder." Builder. Tears blurred the hotel window's view of crashing waves. Thanks, Mom. He was proud in his way. Come see it sometime. Healing incremental. I texted Jordan, screenshot of the email, his reply swift. Proud of you too. Always. Return was reunion, his arms at baggage claim crushing. Cab ride home, a tangle of kisses and whispers. That night, bodies urgent, reclaiming lost days. His sighs deeper, touches reverent. "Missed your edges," he breathed, fingers tracing my hips. Winter loomed, holidays a minefield. "Your family?" I asked, snow dusting the sill as we sipped cocoa laced with rum. He shrugged, steam curling. "Mom's gone. Dad, estranged. Yours. Same poison. But Mom's olive branch tempted. Maybe Ohio for Christmas. Neutral ground. His nod was gentle. If you want. Or we make our own tradition here. We chose both. Flight to Ohio tense, his hand my talisman through turbulence. Mom's welcome was wary, eyes flicking to our joined hands, but she hugged him stiff. Jordan. Heard about the bridge. Impressive. Dinner was stilted, turkey dry as old grudges, but conversations thawed over pie. Dad mentioned you once, she said to me, voice soft. Said you had his eye for lines. Jordan's foot nudged mine under table. Silent support. That night in the guest room, his body-warm shield, we whispered futures. A trip to Chicago, his old haunts reclaimed. New Year dawned crisp. Back in Brooklyn, fireworks blooming over the river. We watched from his balcony, champagne bubbling, his toast. To bridges, built and burned. Kiss at midnight, deep and promising. The year folding into us. Spring brought bloom and burst. Joint exhibit. My graphics fused with his models, gallery buzzing with acclaim. Critics raved, synergy of souls. And in the after-party glow, champagne fizzing, he pulled me to a corner. Marry me? The question hung, ring simple band glinting in his palm. Heart soared, yes, breathless. But joy cracked under weight. Anonymous email to the gallery. Jordan's past, fraud, lovers. Ask about Marcus. Panic surged, but we faced it. Press conference, Jordan's voice unflinching. My past shaped me, but doesn't define us. Crowd hushed, then applauded, truth a liberator. Summer circled back. Anniversary on the bridge, sunset painting steel gold. Vows exchanged private, rings exchanged, his I do a vow eternal. Yet conflict crested unexpected. Mom's call, health scare, minor but reminder. Come home, both of you. Ohio again, but now with purpose. House cleared, memories boxed. We planted a garden in the yard, Jordan's hands in soil, mine sketching plans. Building here, he said, dirt under nails. Healing full circle, roots deepening. Back east, life wove tighter. Adoption talks whispered. Future kids imagined with his eyes. My laugh. One towel started it all. One invitation unlocked everything. Secrets shared, not hidden. Love, the ultimate bridge. The garden in Ohio lingered in my sketches long after we returned. Green shoots curling like questions on the page. Brooklyn's summer sweltered on. Air conditioner humming futile against the heat that seeped through every crack, mirroring the warmth now constant between us. Engaged, the words still tasted new, like the ring's cool band against my skin when I twisted it absent-minded. Jordan wore his openly, flashing silver at client meetings, a quiet defiance that made my chest swell. Mornings shifted subtler. His towel now often mine to unwrap. Steam-filled bathroom, a sanctuary of touches and murmurs. Coffee or me first? He'd tease, voice husky from sleep, pulling me under the spray. Laughter echoed off tiles, water cascading like applause, our bodies slick and sure. Work surged. His firm landed a skyscraper commission, my designs integral to the facade's digital weave. Late nights at the table, blueprints and screens aglow, pizza boxes piling like trophies. This is us, he'd say, pointing to a soaring line. Interlocked, but idle fractured on a humid July dawn. I woke to his side empty, sheets cool. Kitchen lights spilled, his silhouette hunched over phone, face etched gaunt. Jordan, he startled, forcing a smile that didn't reach eyes. Go back to sleep. Client glitch. But glitches didn't make hands tremble. I pressed, arms around him from behind, chin on shoulder. Talk. Sigh heavy, he turned, phone dark. Dad. Heart attack. In Chicago. Won't make it. The words landed soft, but the ache bloomed fierce. His father, the ghost of disownment, the architect who taught him lines then severed ties. "I'm going," he said, voice steel over crack. "I'll come, no question." Flight choppy, clouds brooding like regrets. O'Hare bustle swallowed us. Cab to the hospital a blur of lake-effect gray. Waiting room sterile, fluorescent buzz mocking the heart monitor's beep. His sister arrived, estranged years but blood thick, hugging fierce. "He's asking for you," she told Jordan, eyes red. Room dim, Dad frail under sheets, tubes snaking like accusations. "Son," he rasped, gaze locking. "Heard. The bridge. Proud." Jordan's throat worked, hand gripping mine hidden. "Missed you, Dad." Words tumbled then, halting. Regrets for silence, for the coming out that shattered. "Loved you anyway," Dad whispered, tears tracking. "Just scared." Peace, fragile, sealed with a grip weakening. He slipped at dusk, sunset bleeding orange through blinds, Jordan's sob raw against my chest in the hall. Funeral lakeside, wind whipping off Michigan, eulogies sparse but honest. Sister pulled me aside after. "He kept your clippings, the designs, said you were the real builder." Back in Brooklyn, grief coiled tight. Nights, heat pace, towel forgotten post-shower, steam curling like smoke signals. I'd draw him out with jazz platters, slow dances in the living room. His head on my shoulder, breaths ragged. "Thank you," he'd murmur, "for holding the pieces." Healing came in layers. Chicago trip planned, his old firm visited, blueprints poured over Dad's drafting table. Now sister's gift. "Build on it," she said, keys jangling. We did. Skyscraper evolved, a wing dedicated subtle, for the lines that connect. Fall foliage blazed, our wedding whispers turning plans. Small, intimate rooftop under stars. Invites sent, mom, sister, friends. "No drama," Jordan joked, but eyes earnest. Rehearsal dinner rain-lashed, laughter strained but real. Vows drafted late, my pen scratching truths. "You saw my secret, invited me in. Now I build with you." Ceremony crisp autumn eve. Rooftop strung lights twinkling like promises. Suits sharp, ties loosened post-dash, "I do." Kiss ceiling under cheers. Mom's toast teary. "To family chosen." Honeymoon Chicago, lake winds bracing. Walks hand in hand past Dad's old haunts. "He'd like you," Jordan said. Arm around me at Navy Pier. Ferris wheel creaking overhead. Winter blanketed. Holidays are tradition. Tree trimmed with ornament blueprints. Jazz carols low. Mom visited. Tentative bridges mending over eggnog. Spring burst. News double-edged. Promotion for him, lead architect. For me, solo exhibit. But under joy, whisper, "Kids." Talks deepened. Adoption agencies called. Profiles crafted. 2 dads, 1 love. Our story pitched. Process grueling. Home studies probing scars. But we stood united. His hands steady in interviews. Summer circled. Anniversary on bridge. Picnic spread. Wine chilled. 1 year, he toasted, eyes soft. Infinite ahead. But conflict crested subtle. Agency call. Match. Boy 5. Foster shuffled. Trauma, they warned. Ready. Doubt flickered, my Ohio ghost stirring. What if I break him? Like Dad broke me? Jordan's gaze fierce. We heal. Together. Paperwork whirlwind. First visit park neutral. Boy's eyes wide cautious. Hands small in mine. "Hi," he whispered. "I'm Eli." Heart cracked open. Homecoming chaos. Room painted blue. Books stacked. Nights rocking nightmares away. Jordan's lullabies hummed. My stories sketched. Parenthood raw, diapers and doubts, but love fierce. Eli's laugh first peal, chasing shadows. One night, bath time splashy, towel-wrapped post bubbles, Jordan caught my eye. "Look what we built." Full circle. From one towel, a family. Yet trials lingered. Eli's school start. Bullies sniffing 2 dads. Tears at pickup. We rallied, principal meetings. Books donated on families varied. Jordan's firm strained. Budget cuts threatening jobs. Late calls, stress etching lines. Hold on. I'd say massage easing knots. Crisis peaked. Layoff notice, his desk cleared. Rage, then resolve. Freelance. With you. Pivot bold. Our studio born. Harper and Kane designs. Logos bridging structures. Success slow burn, but clients trickled. Eli's drawings adorning walls. Fall again. Eli's birthday park picnic. Cake smeared. Laughter free. Mom there, hugging grandbaby tight. Proud, she whispered. Winter holidays full, tree aglow. Eli's awe at lights. Family, he said, pudgy hand in ours. Spring exhibit joint. Eli's artwork frame tiny. Critics cooed, but our pride swelled silent. Summer bridge walk, Eli between, hands swinging. Love you, he chirped. From secrets to this, meaning woven in every line. Eli's first school play cast him as a tree. Sturdy oak and cardboard bark. Lines mumbled but earnest under stage lights that buzzed like fireflies. We sat front row, Jordan's knee bouncing subtle nerves. My hand squeezing his till knuckles whitened. He's a star, I whispered, voice thick as the curtain rose. Eli swaying branches with grin wide. Applause thundered post bow. His dash to us a blur of hugs and did I do good? Yes, kid. Better than good. Life hummed domestic symphony. Mornings chaotic. Eli's cereal crunching underfoot. Jordan's coffee gulped before kisses stolen over backpacks. Towel rituals now family affair. Eli giggling at naked daddy as we wrestled robes post-shower. My sketches evolved, incorporating his doodles, wonky lines breathing life into logos. Jordan's freelance steadied, pitches landing with our dual vision, clients drawn to the authentic edge. But undercurrents stirred. Eli's questions bloomed innocent barbs. Where's my other mommy? Bedtime hush, we'd weave truths gentle. You have 2 daddies who chose you big. Love twice as much. His nod sleepy, but eyes searched, mirroring my old doubts. Mom's visits bridged gaps. Her cookies burned edges softening over Eli's chatter. Grandma, he'd beam, flour-dusted hugs. One evening, post-dinner dishes clinking, she cornered me. Your father. He'd have melted for this boy. Tears pricked, forgiveness full. Jordan's sister visited too. Auntie Roll embraced. Chicago tales spun tall. Family patchwork but whole. Summer swelled. Beach trip planned, Jersey Shore. Waves crashing white-capped. Eli's first sandcastle epic. Moats dug deep. Our hands caked building towers. Jordan buried to waist. Laughter booming as tide nipped. Evenings bonfire crackle, marshmallows toasting golden. Stories shared under stars. Once, Jordan began, Eli rapped. 2 men met in a hallway. Eli yawned midway, our glances locking over flames. Love's heat warmer. Back home, heat wave broke with storm. Thunder rattling windows like applause. Power out. We huddled flashlight lit. Eli's ghost stories eliciting shrieks and snuggles. In the glow, Jordan's whisper. This is heaven. Fall crisp. School routines locked. But Eli's teacher note. Adjustment issues. Talks of real family. Gut punch. Conference room stuffy, her sympathy cloying. He's resilient, but home. Eli curled small. Admission tear-streaked. Kids say I'm weird. No, Mom. Heart shatter. Jordan scooped him, voice steady. Families come in all shapes. Like ice cream. Yours just extra sprinkles. Laughter bubbled, but we vowed action. PT sessions started. Play therapy crayons scribbling feelings. Eli opened slow. Drawings of daddy bridge spanning chasms. We joined family groups, stories shared circle, hands held in solidarity. Winter Wonderland. Eli's sled screams echoing Prospect Park hills, snowballs flying arcs. Holidays tree trimming, ornaments clinking memories. His tiny hand placing Dad's old level, Jordan's gift from sister. New Year resolution, more us time. Date nights escaped, babysitter trusted. Jazz club smoky where we'd met in metaphor. Dancing close, his breath hot. Still my secret keeper. Spring therapy breakthrough. Eli's drawing, 3 figures hand in hand under rainbow. My family, declared. Pride swelled, tears hot. But shadow loomed external. Jordan's old firm sued. Breach claims from layoff. Marcus's ghost whispering sabotage. Court dates loomed. Stress carving hollows under his eyes. We'll fight, I said. Briefs poured over kitchen table, Eli asleep nearby. Trial City Hall echoey, suits starched, judge stern. Testimonies dragged, Marcus's name invoked like curse. Jordan's turn, voice clear. I built honestly, left to protect integrity. Verdict, cleared, countersuit won. Relief crashed, lobby embrace fierce. Eli's drawing clutch talisman. Summer sequel beach, Eli Boulder, waves conquered. Bonfire tales evolved, his edition. And the boy joined the adventure. Fall school open house, Eli's artwork wall star. My daddy's bridge crayon bold. Parents nodded approving. One mom, beautiful family. Winter deepened bonds. Eli's flu night vigil. Jordan's forehead kisses. My soup simmering. Recovery cuddles. Stories whispered fever dream. Spring exhibit success, Eli's piece sold, tiny some giant leap. Artist like you, Jordan teased. Conflict internal crested. My wanderlust itch Ohio pull for roots. Road trip, proposed. Family odyssey. Drive winding, sing-alongs off key. Dad's house now ours, garden thriving. Eli planted seeds. Grow big like love. Back, studio boomed. Team hired young, chaos creative. Anniversary bridge picnic. Eli napping basket, vows renewed whisper. Forever's just starting. From hallway glance to this tapestry. Meaning in every thread. Eli's growth spurted summer long. Knees scabbed from park romps. Questions evolving sharper. Why 2 weddings? We'd show photos, rooftop glow, his toddler grin ringside. Love party, he'd crow, mimicking our dip. Studio thrived, walls papered proposals, team banter lively over cold brews. Jordan mentored, his calm leavening my fire. I innovated, pushing pixels bold. Client gala black tie, Eli suited tiny, our trio red carpet adjacent. Flashes capturing the creative clan. Fall harvest, Ohio jaunt for mom's birthday. Eli's pie baking flop hilarious. Crust crumbling but hugs mending. Grandkids spoil me. She laughed, eyes misty. Winter's grip, first big snow. Fort built epic, snowball war epicer. Eli's victory yell. Cheeks rosy, Jordan's surrender kiss on brow. But under joy, whisper. Expand? Eli's plea for sibling. Bedtime beg. Brother? Like uncles have. Talks reignited. Agency revisited, waitlists long. Foster interim? Heart tugged. Memories of Eli's arrival raw. Match came swift. Girl 3, sister split, trauma twin. Temporary? We queried. Could be forever, caseworker hedged. Trial run. Visits park tentative, her braids swinging shy, brother's gap-toothed grin. Eli boss gentle. Show her swings. Home trial chaos doubled. Dolls strewn. Midnight wakes tandem. Jordan's exhaustion masked smile. My sketches paused for story hours. Bond bloomed hesitant. Her dada Jew first crack. his giggle chasing fears. Permanency hearing loomed, hearts suspended. Court again, but this time hope's ally. Judge's gavel, family. Yeah, we named her 3 to thrive. Eli's protector role shown, bedtime brigade united. Summer double beach, buckets duo, sand empires rival. Bonfire quartet, marshmallows shared, tales now theirs. Fall school tandem, backpacks mismatched, drop-off tears mine, not theirs. Winter holidays expanded, tree baubled extra. Leah's awe at lights gasp-worthy. Gifts wrapped chaos, unwrapped joy. Spring therapy group, kids drawings rainbow families, our centerpiece. Studio adapted, play corner naptime haven. Clients charmed by the Kane Harper kids. Conflict-crested teen echo. Eli's crush, school dance invite boyish. Normal, he fretted. You're normal, Jordan coached, tie knotted awkward. Pick up post-dance glow. It was magic. Leah's stutter therapy breakthrough. Words flowing free recital night. Our claps thunder. Summer bridge family picnic. Kids racing beams, our hands linked watch. Look what started here, Jordan murmured, towel memory wink. From one invitation, a legacy. Years layered, Eli's art school acceptance tear-streaked pride. Leah's piano recital fingers flying. Mom's visits grandeur. My builders. Jordan's keynote. Me beside. Partnerships the true design. Eli's wedding someday, but now daily miracles. Breakfast bickers, bedtime books. One evening, sunset promenade. Kids ahead skipping, his arm around. Knew your secret, he said soft. Lucky I did. Kiss lingering, world hours. Meaning. Love builds, endures, multiplies. In the end, the towel hung forgotten, but the invitation echoed eternal.